Language Strand. How to teach the Common Core language standards with Pennington Publishing's Teaching the Language Strand, grades 4 through 8 program. Training Module 4, Language Application Lessons, Language Standard 3. Pennington Publishing's Teaching the Language Strand provides comprehensive programs for grades 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Each grade-level program includes the instructional resources teachers need to help their students learn every grammar, usage, mechanics, spelling, and vocabulary standard in the Common Core English Language Arts Language Strand. 2 instructional resources in the Teaching the Language Strand programs help students practice application of these language standards in the reading, writing, speaking, and listening contexts. Language Application Openers and Rhetorical Stance Openers. These 5-minute interactive openers are found in the Teacher's Guide in both print and digital formats for classroom display, and students complete these lessons in their consumable student workbooks. The 56 language application openers and the 64 rhetorical stance openers address the Common Core Knowledge of Language 3.0 standards. These twice-per-week lessons help students apply the Language Convention Standards 1 and 2 in reading, writing, speaking, and listening activities. Students learn how to vary grammatical constructions and sentence patterns, how to combine sentences and use concise word choices, and how to adjust voice, audience, purpose, and form to communicate effectively. The student workbook provides the text of each lesson, a section for margin notes, and the language application revision task. The workbook also serves as a ready-made study guide for unit tests. Let's practice a sample language application lesson to get comfortable with the instructional procedures. First, ask students to open their workbooks to the language application lesson and to read the lesson focus quietly as you read it out loud. The lesson text is the same in both the Teacher's Guide and the student workbook. It reads, "Our language application task is to delete the unnecessary there word. The unnecessary there word begins a sentence and follows with a to be verb. Is, am, are, was, were, be, being, and been. To eliminate the unnecessary there word, begin the sentence with the subject. Now reread the lesson focus and highlight or underline the key points of the text on the board or display. Direct students to do the same in their workbooks as you are doing. Now read the examples. There are 3 students who work for the company. This sentence can be better revised as 3 students work for the company. Ask students to explain how each example relates to the language application task. For example, the first sentence begins with there and follows with a to be verb, are. The revision begins with the sentence subject, 3 students. Next, tell students to summarize the key idea of the language application task on the lines provided in the second column. Allow time for students to summarize the key idea. For example, students may say, don't start sentences with there, then a to be verb. Fix by starting with the subject. Afterwards, read the revision task and clarify directions as needed. The revision task says, revise this sentence by deleting the unnecessary words. There was the boy who was making all the noise over in the corner. Direct students to write a sentence revision in their workbooks. You will need to turn off the projector or make sure not to scroll down to the answer while students complete their sentence revision. Make sure to allow some time for students to revise. When students have finished, turn on the projector to display the language application revision. Then read the revision out loud. The boy who was making all the noise was over in the corner. Ask why or how the revision accomplishes the revision task. Award credit to students who have the same answer as that on the display. Next, call on students to share any revisions which differ from that of the display. Tell students how to credit their answers. Note that students certainly may have revisions which are just as good as that on the display. Continue calling on students until all possible revisions have been shared, but remind students not to repeat answers. Teaching the language strand also includes 64 rhetorical stance quick writes to help students adjust the voice, audience, purpose, and form of their writing in the reading, writing, speaking, and listening contexts. These openers can serve as substitutes or supplements to the language application openers. Simply display the lesson and have students write. Then call on students to share a few examples. Periodically, say after every 4 lessons, or the Teaching the Language Strand unit test, collect the student workbooks to record credit.